everybody, Kat here. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to look into the question that's on everybody's mind. Why hasn't the palace come out and firmly done something about Meghan and Harry? They've done little things, sidelined them a bit at the Jubilee. Um, Quiet little snubs, nobody really spoke to them, but nothing's really been done. They're still prancing around. At the UN, a hideous display by Meghan and her claw-clutching Harry and his miserable speech to 15 people, and they didn't even get his name right. That's how unimportant they are on the world stage, but they still keep going. The lies are still keep coming. The antics, the photo ops, that's all they do. They're an embarrassment to the royal family. Why hasn't the royal family really done anything concrete to stop this kind of behavior? Well, this new book coming out may shed a little bit of light on that. I don't know what it is. I've looked at some of the excerpts in the Daily Mail and stuff like that, but I haven't ordered the book. I don't know what's in it. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what revelations come out and how deep it goes. Well, I have a theory about how deep it goes, and it might be way off center. But in a situation like this, you try to look for connections. What is at the bottom of all this? And that's what I'm trying to do. And I mean, I'm not a huge investigator. I read a little bit, I try to glean some information, I look stuff up, and a lot of it is just kind of going by instinct. Just look at the way she's acting. But anyway, here we go. Let's start at the beginning. When Meghan was still in Toronto, we know she made pals with the Mulroneys, whose Ben Mulroney's father had been the prime minister. His wife, Jessica, Meghan and her were fast friends, and I think it was just a matter on Meghan's part of social climbing, try to get in with the most influential people that she could, given her situation. We saw that with her dating the chef, trying to get into an elevated social circle. We also know that Meghan had an affiliation with Soho House even then. Now here's where it gets interesting. Soho House is a private members club. They're now all over the world. I think they originally started in New York and then have since expanded. Could have started in Toronto, actually. Actually, I think it may have. But anyway, it started in North America. Now they're in England. They're all over the place. And there's several of them here and there. Very exclusive and very popular with a certain crowd of celebrity and people with a lot of money. Now, Marcus Anderson was hired by Soho House as pretty much an ambassador for Soho House, advertising agent, consultant, I don't know what you want to call it. I think he wore a few hats as whatever was needed, but he was definitely into the promotion of Soho House. He was brought in to do this. We also know that Meghan and Marcus have quite a history. From the looks of things, they've been friends for a very long time. Every major event she does, the baby shower in New York, Marcus Anderson was there. He's been seen out with Meghan and Harry. That dinner that they had with Eugenie, I believe it was in New York, and the other character that was in the picture, nobody could really identify. A lot of people speculate that that wasn't Eugenie's husband, but that that was Marcus Anderson as well. Now, what other connections can we find? Well, we know that Eugenie and Harry and Prince Andrew are all members of Soho House. They've all frequented events there and this and that. They've all got an association with Soho House. That in itself is not unusual because it is a very elite club, and it would be the kind of place that they would gather when they want a night out. You know, not with the riffraff. They're with the highbrows in there. And because of their reputation and the kind of place it is, there's a certain protection sticking to those kinds of environments. So, as far as the mall belonging to it, not unusual. But here's where it gets interesting. How did Meghan get involved with Soho House? And how far back does her association with Marcus Anderson really go? Who approached who first? Did she, knowing about Soho House being such an exclusive place, and her wanting to be a part of that to feed her ego and mix with the kind of people she wanted to aspire to be, did she approach him? Or Marcus Anderson, as a ambassador for Soho House, which I may say there's been some investigation done and an inference made that some services provided to some of the clients at Soho House would suit a yacht girl for a part-time gig. I'm not saying it's true, I have no clue, but apparently it has been said that those kind of shenanigans go on at Soho House as well, for certain members' requests. I have no clue, but that might explain how Meghan got a foot in the door at Soho House. Now, we do know that well, don't know exactly, but I have heard that when Harry was coming for the Invictus Games in Toronto, that he had, or on a previous time anyway, that he had used the services of Soho House, sort of looking for a little companion while he was around, and that may have been how Meghan got her hooks into him. Now, we know that because Meghan said it herself, that she knew Eugenie before she met anybody else in the royal family. The only way she could have met Eugenie, as far as that goes, as far as I think, is perhaps the connection with Soho House. We know Eugenie was a member. Maybe Meghan befriended her, got on her good side. There's also, and I've heard speculation that Andrew has frequented Soho House. And if the predilections about him are true, perhaps he and Meghan had chance to meet at some point. And if that were the case, I mean, we're stretching here, but, you know, I'm taking this one connection they all have with Soho House and running with it. I mean, why not? Just about anything's believable at this point. But let's just imagine that if Meghan met Andrew at some point and perhaps met him in the capacity as a boat girl appointment, that she might have a little bit of something something on Andrew. She's also friends with Eugenie. You know, get me a date with Prince Harry. Or, I'll let it be known what your father's up to. And, rumors about Andrew had already been swirling around for a long time. And we noticed even at the interview that Andrew did with Emily Maitlis on the BBC, that absolute car crash of an interview. Well, it seems that Eugenie was involved in that as well. She went with Andrew to the interview, so she obviously knew what was going on. Maybe she didn't know exactly how bad it was going to get, whether she was there for just emotional support or overseeing things in some capacity, I don't know. But she was present there almost in a way, perhaps protecting her father. Could have Meghan sort of heavy handedly said something to Eugenie to spook her? Could have been. Meghan's that evil. So if there is this big connection between Meghan, Marcus, Andrew, and Eugenie, and if Meghan knows something, that would have scared the Queen enough, because it would have been devastating at the time with everything else swirling about for anything about Andrew to come out. She's loath to, it was all about protecting him. It still is all along. Could Meghan be blackmailing the royal family? Like, oh, you know what? You say anything about me, and I'll spill the beans on this. She could have told things to Harry to color his view of the royal family. She could have said this, this, and this, and your family knows about it. Look at how evil they are. I don't know. I'm just absolutely guessing. But it sure seems to me, with all that little interweb connection, Soho House connection, and they all seem to circulate in and out of there, that something's going on. There's something valid with that connection to Soho House. I really think so, because that's where Meghan kind of makes her entry, through Marcus Anderson. And he's always by her side. Always. You see pictures of them together. They've been friends for quite a few years now. You never know, and I mean, let's just speculate as much as we can. Could Marcus Anderson be her handler? Could something deeper against the royal family been going on, and she is being used sort of as to drive a wedge in there? I wouldn't be surprised. It's really hard to speculate. Who knows? But I just think the connection between all of them in Soho House, and given Meghan's past exploits as a yacht girl, she would not be averse to participating in those kinds of activities. So, just saying. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but if she's holding certain cards and she's got things on members of the royal family that they certainly don't want revealed, this could be kind of the blackmail card that she's playing. How they're gonna, how it's all gonna play out, who knows? Like I said, just my thoughts and opinion. I just think the connection is pretty interesting, and you know, we can look into it. We can research, maybe find something out. Maybe somebody knows something. Um, but I just think that it's too strong a connection to ignore or deny, and I think it has something to do with the way that the royal family has been acting towards Meghan and Harry, being so soft on them. Anyway, my thoughts and opinions. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.